this is a walkthrough of Microsoft Teams. I'm doing this actually on a iMac, but the layout of the Teams platform is the same on the actual desktop application as what it is in the web application. On the web application, if you're on a government computer, you need to be unsecure for video conferencing to work, and you also will have better performance unsecure even when using just the chat and other functionality within the web application. Also, on a government computer, this web app works best on Microsoft Edge. It is not designed to be ran in Microsoft Internet Explorer, and it will oftentimes not even load when you're trying to access it in Microsoft Internet Explorer. So if you're on your government computer, be unsecure and also use Microsoft Edge as the platform. To go to Microsoft Teams, you just simply go to Microsoft Edge, type in teams.microsoft.com. From there, it'll take you to a login page. You'll use your login credentials to log into Microsoft Teams, and then it will open up into a screen that looks kind of like mine does here. Now, here on the left-hand side, you'll have several different buttons, and again, this is the desktop app, but it's the same in the web app. You'll have activity, chat, teams, calendar, calls, files, these three little dots here. Down at the bottom here, you'll have apps and help. Off to the right-hand side of that is where your actual teams are. So any teams that you have been added to or any teams that you have created will show up here, and you can see here I have several different ones. And each one of these teams underneath has what are called channels, and these different channels allow for sub-conversations to happen and meetings to happen outside of the general channel where everybody will be able to post and see things and do different things in. So if we were to go into a specific area to look at a team, and here we'll go into the Station Commander DL test group. If we were to click on the channel for the general channel for that team, you'll see that it has a whole bunch of threaded discussions in here. Now, these discussions happened over the course of the last several days as we were doing some testing for the Station Commander course distributed learning platform. And so all of these things have already happened in the past. The nice thing about this is that so long as the team exists and you're a member of that team, you'll be able to see all of the things that have happened before. So here you can see that we had a meeting that happened back on Tuesday, April 14th at 2 o'clock. And from that meeting, you can actually go back and you can view all of the different chat that happened throughout that meeting, to include any photos or files that were shared as a result of that meeting happening. And you can go all the way back, through. There's over 200 different comments on this one video alone. On top of that, we've also recorded this meeting here, and if you want to, you can go back in and you can review and re-listen to the meeting as it took place. The one downside to this is that right now we aren't able to have the desktop application for Microsoft Teams on a government computer. So we're doing everything through the web application, like I mentioned before, on Microsoft Edge. With that, we cannot share a screen with the application or with the web app. That functionality doesn't exist, and it only exists on the desktop version of the application. So any slides or anything that we show will not be captured in the recording itself, unfortunately. However, when we are talking through slide decks, we will at least try to give audio cues as to when we are changing slides, and you can follow along on a slide deck that you can download on your own to watch that video again and kind of get a review. So with that, I'm going to move into the files section because that leads right into what I was just talking about with downloading slide decks. So up here at the top of any one team, you'll see a files section. And if you click that, it'll take you to an area that has files that are uploaded to that specific channel that you're in. So right now I'm in general, files for RSCC DL test group, and these are the files that were loaded. So if you were rewatching the video for develop a non-commissioned officer report, you can simply come here, you can click on this and reopen it, or you can click on these 3 buttons over here to the right, and it'll give you a whole bunch of options like downloading it, copying it, all that kind of stuff, and you'll be able to pull whatever you need to off of the file section. So it's a really handy way to be able to go back and review things that you may have missed during any one class. If you're in multiple teams and you click on files over here to the left and then click on the Microsoft Teams area here, it'll bring up all of the files for every team that you're a member of. And again, once things are added, they're generally going to stay here until you either leave the team or the owner were to delete it. So here you can see Miss Elizabeth Ivy uploaded a scenario here. I can download it, I can edit it, I can edit it in Teams, I can open it in a browser on the desktop app, or I can get a link to it, but I cannot delete it. So it remains here until either Miss Ivy were to delete it, or I were to be removed from or leave that team, then I would lose access to it. So again, just kind of a different way to get to some of the same things that you can access back through the Teams area. Here on the left, like I said before, you have these different buttons here. So here you have the chat button. And the chat button will let you talk with people in a one-on-one conversation, or you can talk with groups of people in a multi-person chat, just like what you would on a cell phone through a multimedia message that you share with a group of people. At the top, you have the activity bell. Basically, anything that happens in your feed across all of your teams will show up here. And so you can go in and you can click on these different things and you can see where activity is happening at. So this was activity that just happened during a commo check that we had for RSCC 01520 distributed learning. And basically all the activity happened right there, and you can click and follow along there. Also on here you have a calendar button. In the calendar you can see different things that are scheduled for you. These will be meetings that are scheduled. And basically you can set this up just like you would any other calendar. For anybody that's in a Station Commander course DL class, we will set up calendar invites for you and invite you to them. They'll show up on your screen showing that you've been invited to them. You can go in and you can just simply accept it, and then boom, it turns it into a bold color and says, okay, hey, I've accepted this meeting. That just lets the organizer know that you actually saw it and that you've accepted the meeting occurrence. So that way, you're providing feedback basically that, hey, yeah, I know that I saw it and we're good to go. From there, you can join the meeting itself. Now, let's say here, this meeting here isn't actually taking place yet. You can still join this meeting, but there won't be anybody there. It'll just be you. So joining it early isn't going to do anything for you. But when it comes time for the meeting, let's say Tuesday, April 21st, if you wanted to join that meeting, you can just go to your calendar and click join right from that meeting, and it'll take you right into where the meeting group is. At the same time, when you're in a team channel, if there's a meeting that's happening, like this DL 015 commo check, as the meeting is happening, you can see it happen there. I'm going to just start it. Okay, so in this meeting now, if you were to come in and let's say you were coming straight into the Teams area here, you'll see this meeting show up as a big purple block that says join, okay? And you can just click on that and that'll take you right back into the video. So you guys saw where basically once I had this video open, it says waiting for others to join. This is the kind of view that you'll have when a video conference is taking place. You can leave this video conference without leaving it. So you click any of these buttons over here on the left, it'll minimize the video conference that's going on, it'll put it up here in the top left hand corner, and now you can come back here and you can still explore even other teams if you want to while you're in a conference. Of course, while you're doing that, you're distracting yourself from the conference that's going on. So, kind of pick that battle wisely as something that you choose to or not to do. Okay? So while you're in a video conference, you have several options here in the middle. All right? You have hang up, obviously. That'll make you leave the conference. Show participants. If you click that, it will show you all of the participants that are currently in the meeting, those that were invited to the meeting, and then maybe some suggestions that you may want to have come to the meeting as an organizer. So it's just a quick way to see who's actually in your meeting and be able to tell exactly what is going on as far as the participants go, for you if you're interested in such a thing. Here you have a show conversation button. And when you click on that, that actually brings up the chat for the meeting. And again, this is the same thing that you saw out in the threaded discussion in the Team General channel. So everything that we talked about within this meeting is stored here in the chat area. Here you have these three little dots here, and these three little dots allow you to turn off any oncoming video. It pulls up a keypad. You can start recording from here. We will record all of our meetings automatically. You can go into full screen if you want to. You can click Show Meeting Notes. This brings up a notes page. Now, the meeting notes, though, are editable and viewable by everybody that's in the meeting. So, if you're in a meeting notes area, there could be 3 or 4 other people that are in there as well. And if they're adding or deleting things from the notes, it's going to add it or delete it from everybody's notes. Show device settings will open up your device settings here on the right hand side, and here you can see that for my iMac I'm on internal mic and speakers, built-in output for the mic, for the speaker, and a built-in microphone, and you can do a little audio check here to make sure that you're not maxing it out. Same thing with the camera, so pretty easy controls. Here in the middle you have a share button. On the web app you're only going to see PowerPoint and browse. Because on the web app you'll only be able to browse and upload PowerPoint presentations. Here on mine you can see I could share my desktop, my window, any particular window that I have open, or any recent PowerPoints that I've opened. So again, that's where the desktop app makes it a little bit more dynamic. Here you have a microphone button. If there's a line through it, it means you're muted. No line through it means that you're live. Same thing with the camera. This turns the camera on and off. So if I wanted, everybody to see me, boom, there I am. All right, so back over to the Teams area here. I'm going to end this call. So in this Teams area here, if you were in an area where we had maybe something up here that we were viewing through Microsoft OneNote, like here you'll see we added a new tab that says Map Info. There are some times where we may have people come in and look at things that we want to show them through a shared document that we can edit on the fly. So Map Info is one of those things that we would, a lot of times use Microsoft OneNote for. It's an application that's embedded within the Teams platform. It's automatically there. You don't have to worry about downloading anything or doing anything special for it. And basically, again, it allows us to share things, over the platform and edit things live so that way everybody can see what's being done. When you're in this, up in the upper right-hand corner, if you follow my mouse to the upper right-hand corner, again, you have some options. You can open this on a web page if you wanted to in OneNote. You can refresh this, you can make it full screen, and then here you have this little bubble here, and that just opens up a chat for this particular tab in OneNote. And again, now we're having a conversation that is directly tied to what it is that we're talking about in the OneNote application. With this, we can add a whole bunch of different pages, we can look at different things, we can add and subtract things. And again, the cool thing with this is that whatever we do on this platform is going to be viewable for everybody. So if I draw something on here, then everybody will see that when they are either currently watching or when they move to, open this back up again, it'll actually show up on their screen that, hey, somebody came in here, goofed around, they put a big old smiley face right here in the middle, or maybe not a smiley face, maybe it's a mean, grumpy first arm face. It's just kind of a cool way that you can use Microsoft Teams to do a whole bunch of different stuff that you probably couldn't do in any other application other than this one. I deleted all that stuff off of there. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. That kind of breaks everything down. It's a pretty dynamic platform, like I said. I think the one thing maybe that I left out was the different groups down here. The different breakout groups does have their own threaded conversation areas. So this is a DL course that's coming up, and we have breakout group 1, 2, 3, and 4, and each one of those has a specific set of students that are assigned to them. They can take their conversations, amongst themselves right here. They can actually start their own meetings within these breakout groups by clicking this little camera button down here. It'll start a new meeting within this breakout group. That meeting can happen simultaneously while there's a meeting happening that they're a part of in the general group channel. And they can switch back and forth between the two, so it allows for them to have conversations privately amongst these, 3 or 4 soldiers, but then come back and bring that conversation back into the general chat where everybody will be back in there together. So other than that, that kind of wraps it up. I hope that you find it useful. I hope that you find it helpful. And hopefully this platform continues to be a big success for us in what it is that we do.